If you know Samsung and Mini LED put together, you might be used to what they call Neo QLED. But today we're going to talk about a more budget-friendly model, and they call it the M80H, and this is a Mini LED television. I was reading some comments on a post, and a lot of people think this may be an edge LED. Well, after doing some research on ChatGPT, as well as pulling up BestBuy.com, this TV is a direct lit LED model. Now I picked up the 55-inch, but you can get this in a 65, 75, and an 85-inch if you want something a little bit larger. Now this is not going to be the full review. I have a series of televisions where we're going to just get the unboxing. I'll give you my first impressions, and then as I get some time, we'll come out with the full review. So sit back and relax, and let's get started. Now, one thing about this 55-inch, it is a smaller size, so it's going to be pretty easy to handle for most people with all the traditional things that you get in Samsung TVs. And this includes a remote control, a power cord, and some batteries, so it doesn't have the solar remote control. And it comes with these 2 feet, and they're not metal, but it looks like some kind of composite material. Now before, you could raise the TV and lower it, but it looks like they took out that little plastic tab that used to be on there. So I guess it's preset for certain size sound bars, but we'll get out of the box and see what we can see. Now it doesn't seem to be that heavy, but it's not that light either. And it's weighed in around 23.6 pounds without the legs. So here's where you slide the field in right there. And over here, it does have a base port. And if you notice, it's a little bit thicker TV, and it's because it has that direct LED panels on it. And over here we have the Samsung logo, and there's a little press button right here so you can actually change the inputs and turn the TV off. So here we have the back of the TV, and still got some of that styrofoam on there. I'll get that off in just a minute. And it has a HDMI, USB, as well as a TV tuner. And here's 2 additional HDMIs, as well as a LAN input for your direct connection to your internet. But rest assured, Samsung has you covered because all of these are HDMI 2.1 connections, and this TV will support up to 144 Hz. Thank you, Samsung. Thank you. And now it's time for the screen pull, and keep in mind you will see a little red tab here at the bottom. Satisfying. So now we have the screen pulled off. Let's take a quick look at the design of it. One thing I did notice about the TV, it is a lot thicker. The design of the screen that's kind of floating right there in the middle of the bezel. As I suspected, since you can't raise this TV up and down, check this out. You only get this much room to adjust the television. So if you want to add a sound bar, you might have to wall mount the television. And that can be very frustrating. Yeah, I know. But let's get it all turned on and see what it's all about. So I went ahead and got the TV all set up. I just basically used the SmartThings application, and now I have full control of the television from the application, and it set everything up. But let's talk about the new operating system that's in this television, because they did make a few changes over the previous generation. So they do have a search up here, but now I like the fact that they have connected devices so you can see all your inputs right there. Let's face it, Samsung did remove the input button on the remote control, and they just won't add it back. On the home screen, you can find all your favorite applications, and keep in mind, this TV does have an internet browser, and it works with Amazon Alexa. There's also a live view where you can see what's playing now, plus you have access to Samsung TV Plus in certain areas where you can see content, and you can see what sports are playing as well, which is a pretty cool feature to get access to some shows. Samsung has been doing this for a while, but it does have a gaming tab. And if you pair a controller to the television, you'll get access to some cloud-based applications without having a console. And they have a new feature called Game Breaks, which is kind of limited. And at the time of this video, you can see there's only 2 games in here that you could play. So I do expect this to be extended as time goes on. And just like the frame TV, you can load up all this art. It costs you about $5 a month if you want access to 5,000 pictures. And that's going to be about $50 a year if you want to be able to mount the TV on the wall and have it displaying this cool art whenever you're not using it. And of course there's daily, but the main thing is now they have a selection back so you can get access to apps that you can download. Now, if you go down here to the bottom and click on app settings, this TV has 7.93 gigabytes, which is not a lot of memory, but maybe it's efficient because it's a Samsung television. But I would think, you know, at the price of this television that you would at least get 32 gigs, 64 gigs, or even 128 gigs. but that's just my opinion. Now checking it out for movies, I can say that the colors look pretty decent on this television, but we won't know how good it is until I get to the full review. But so far it looks pretty presentable. And the fact that it's mini LED, I can see that it does have some decent brightness, and the color seems pretty natural. It doesn't seem oversaturated. The skin tones look decent. And if you're a Samsung fan, I'm pretty sure you're going to be happy with the results of this television. Now, the bigger question is, companies like Hisense and TCL are bringing out TVs that are 1500 nits, 3000 nits, or even up to 10,000 nits. I don't see the brightness on this television being as vibrant as those, but does it really matter to a lot of people? Not sure. At 24 frames per second, it has a little bit of motion blur, but it's not too bad. But I'll go into the motion settings on the main review. But switching over to 60 frames per second, there's still a little bit of judder on the screen, but it actually looks a lot more natural and realistic. Now, as far as dirty screen effects, I am seeing a little bit of areas here and here. So it's not completely uniform, but it actually does pretty decent, nothing special. And one of the biggest issues with most mini LED TVs is blooming. So let's check it out. Now, looking at this TV, it looks actually pretty solid. If I go in here to the picture modes, now it's on movie mode, but let's switch over to dynamic. And I see just a little bit of blooming, not too bad. Standard's good, equals good, movie's even better. But that's basically what we're gonna get when it comes to blooming on this television. Since it's not as bright a TV as some of the other brands, I think they have it pretty well under control in comparison. Now let's take a listen to the audio on it. This is a Tech Steve voice. Now for his audio, it actually has a decent sound. Now in my opinion, TV speakers are okay. I see them when I go get a pizza or something like that. But overall, if you want to get the best experience out of any Samsung TV, think about getting one of their either basic sound bars or more advanced one with the Q Symphony sound. And this is actually going to give you the audible experience with the television as well as the visuals. So that's my opinion on it. I prefer to get a sound bar or external audio system. TV speakers just won't work for me, but maybe they'll work for you. Here's my opinion about this TV so far. It looks definitely better than Crystal UHD, not as good as the Neo series, but one thing that I do like about it is that the picture seems to be nice, clean. There's some spots on it that are not perfect, but there's more cons. For example, the plastic non-adjustable feet, that could be improved on. They got rid of the optical output, so you can't run that over to the older systems. You got to use HDMI eARC. Also, the bezel around the edge has that little gap in it, so I did have some styrofoam to get caught in there, but no big deal. And being that this is a mini LED, I wish the remote control that came with it had the solar on it, because that's the thing they're pushing, but maybe they got some feedback from that. Also wish this had an input on it. That would be great. But what I'm seeing so far, I think it's going to be great for most Samsung fans who want to get something better than Crystal UHD, not as good as a Neo. And when I get to the full review, we'll talk a little more details about it, and I'll get into a little bit more of some testing so we can actually see how it performs. That's all I have on this video. I'm Tech Steve. Thanks all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.